expected to go all the way to the third map?
Honestly, not but for the side of VAMONOS. I didn't expect too much from them. Obviously that's a solid roster. Obviously you have great names alongside of the roster. Nille, especially one of those players. Then you have Vorven and Klusia, who are like kind of unknown for the Valorant scene for the most part, especially on the larger scale coming from Fortnite. But they pop off, especially Klusia, Radiant, 27th pick, all of that. And I think they have still kind of smashed my expectations, because I'm amazed by this team. I think they could still stand a very good chance in this last matchup. And when we look at the talent predictions, there's not an indication to show that we would believe in them. And I do at this point.
Yeah, I think VAMONOS is such a strong roster coming into this. I know that, you know, we're going to pretend like those talent predictions didn't happen. We didn't see them. Okay, we didn't know.
Unless BONK wins, then sure.
No, then we still don't look at them, because we said we don't look at them. We can't be flip-flopping out here. Okay, we got to stick to a decision. But I think VAMONOS, they have shown so much in these last two maps, and they've shown their resilience, they've shown their adaptability, they've shown not only their individual performances, but also their ability to perform as a 5-man, as a team. So therefore, going into this final map, I think it's more of a who will perform better under pressure. VAMONOS didn't have too much pressure onto them on that last map because they already had Icebox in their pocket. But now, so we're going to be getting onto Ascent. It's like both of these teams are basically starting from scratch because they both have a point each, and that's it.
Yeah, and both won their own map picks, which is like, okay, it's kind of even right here. BONK looked really well, like really good, really solid in Icebox. They had, I think overall it's been kind of messy in terms of the playstyle of some executes, not necessarily the utility going their way, but in terms of the utility that people respond with the back and back from the side. And I think that's where a lot of this individual hero plays comes from, these 4Ks, 5Ks, and we have seen multiple of those. I would hope some polished gameplay into Ascent, but I think it always is a good sight to see when we see those 4Ks, we see those individual performances. So I would not be mad if we see that as well in Ascent, but maybe that's Chihuahua Cypher once again. I would be so glad to see, and honestly, I think BONK, it's unfair to pick that.
Yeah, I think also something that needs to be highlighted here is the fact that both of these teams coming from different experiences, but still looking at how they both have performed, they've both given each other a run for their money, which, to be completely honest, is so to say expected from BONK simply because we've already seen them compete. But VAMONOS coming into this absolutely fresh, new, sure we've seen Sunshine, sure we've seen Nille, but still, maybe I think a little overperforming here in terms of expectations, and that's just because of our predictions and because we I don't want to say we're stupid, but still have a lot of faith in both of these rosters. This is anybody's game, and looking at the compositions, the Cypher and the Killjoy.
Yep, absolutely. I think they run the Cypher, BONK run the Cypher just because Keiko is not in the roster anymore, so Yusei can play that Jet and not having to go for the Sage. I think it's so big of an improvement. But obviously you have Vorven Sick on the other side, having a lot of utility to cancel out the Cypher utility, which should be heavy focus point in this matchup. But as we saw, it's not only Chihuahua's defensive side setups, it's only the attacking side as well. And I think the attacking side on that last map was actually better than Chihuahua's defensive side, so that's what you have to take into account for.
Yeah, but also not to take anything away from Nille's Killjoy, because that Killjoy is disgusting. You do not want to be playing against them. You do not want to be playing against those setups, but you are playing against them. You are playing against the setups, and it's going to be on Ascent. And one thing that I lacked a lot in the Focus versus HS Deer game was the fact that mid was not very often contested. So this is the first map we're going to be seeing from both of these teams where there is a mid to be contested, and I think especially on Ascent, contesting mid could lead up to a lot of openings onto both A and to B site. It can set you up for a lot of success, so therefore I want to see more of that. I want to see util invested in mid. I want to see players try and contest it, try and get a pick, try and get some form of advantage and pressure through that. Thank you, Kix, for listening to my TED Talk.
I think especially for the side of HDR, it was pretty much only Ale who was controlling that mid, trying to get away that control as much as possible. Nille returning the favor. Sunshine just locking down the side, but not quite enough.
Yeah, Kix does find a pick himself, but again, you have a couple of these players still stuck around trees, still are gonna have to be able to deal with them. Spike has been planted though, so it does buy you time. Now time is your friend rather than your enemy, which is a good position to be in for BONK. But the pistol round, it's crucial.
Yeah, it is. Warren the lowest amount of HP, having to go first. Not quite finding anyone, and yeah, it's rough. There's 2 players down in short. You can even bait the 1 player, and I don't think they're gonna be expecting a second one.
Not at all. And Nille with the Sheriff finds a pick. Still has to be dealing with 2. Is aware of one of their positions, but Kix. I mean, it's Kix. Like, honestly, do I even have to say it at this point? It's Kix, guys.
And it's Kix on KO. It's Kix on KO. I think right now these people are on pretty much their comfort pick. All other than Bunker. I think Bunker has been doing really well on the Sova as well. Obviously not the most comfort. Actually, Sova is the most comfort pick for Bunker. So I think, yeah, I think it's not even fair for VAMONOS. Kix being KO, Siders is going for the controller role. It's gonna be tough. Tough luck for VAMONOS. But like you pointed out, obviously you have Nille on Killjoy. You have a lot of talent on the side of VAMONOS as well.
Yeah, and you have also the resilience that we've seen from them coming out so far, especially on Icebox. If they are able to come back from that, they can come back from anything. I fully believe in them this time around. And I think also BONK just being able to reset after that last game, I think they won their map a little bit more convincingly simply because it didn't end up going into overtime, and it felt like Chihuahua was very much helping them dictate the pace of the game. Whereas when we're looking at VAMONOS and how they competed, like that Icebox, it was a little messy.
Oh yeah, and look at the rotation from VAMONOS. They're gambling on the A side. It's a great read, but Sunshine gets taken out instantly. Is the support gonna be there in time?
Oh, it looks like there might be some form of support, but BONK, they're just walking away all over them. They've already taken down every single member, and now again, Nille with the Sheriff is gonna be figured out as well in terms of that audio cue with the cage. They know that he's coming through Rafters, so a couple of shots, but it's not gonna be enough here, unfortunately.
No, it's not. The camera as well. Chihuahua's just holding it down, making sure that Nille has no room to breathe.
And there we go. Cider with the Vandal. That's an Atarita, unfortunately for Nille. But 2-0, I think this is what you expect when you see a team win that pistol round. I think you expect them to win the second round after that, which has not actually, surprisingly here at Polaris today, been what we've seen. But I think this is how you traditionally would expect it to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Last map, let's call it a fluke. It was kind of back and forth at the start. BONK, now heavily investing.
Warm-up.
Yeah, sure. Let's call it that. BONK actually investing with 4 rifles, having the null command as well. Instantly invested. Instead of being for that B side, there's no one there. No killjoy set up.
Oh, but Zeke though.
Wow! Good spam coming from Zeke.
Zeke doesn't need to see you. He will kill you, but he doesn't need to see you. I think we've seen this multiple times from every single one of these teams where they're just spraying through smoke and they get a couple of picks. And that's also a little bit in terms of both of these teams need to become better at dealing with it. Because I've seen so many Furies being picked up. Oh, Jisoo getting another one. So does Kix. This is looking scary for VAMONOS because they have Vorwon and Kluja remaining. They have to deal with 3 members who are situated safe. One of them situated safely in boat house. They are looking at every single angle it has to offer. Kluja finds one, finds the other. But Kix is now on a 1v1 against Kluja. Kluja has to play with that levitation, but instead, Kix is an absolute monster. Spitting that champ's knife. That's glowing. Very well deserved. Top fragger. Yes, you get it. 8-0. My goodness.
Kix just used his null command. Now he's halfway for another one. What a round. And not even the kills coming through from Kix. The flash that he invested to get a kill for Yuseo was amazing. He gets another kill on the back of that. This guy is insane with KO. like we talked about, it was already so prominent on the first season of Polaris.
He's
Kix
back.
was gaining some traction right there, and yeah, he's back. Better than ever.
Yeah, absolutely zoned in. I think with the experience that he has from people like Cider, Bonker, Chihuahua, it does help in terms of, you know, this young, talented individual being, you know, shown the ropes, I guess, so to say.
Yeah, the same goes for yourself. I think it's really good to have Bonker alongside him. Cider as well. Like, the FPX experience is already great. Yusuf is taken out. That's only the stinger.
Yeah. That's already the Jet out of the equation. Chihuahua wants to push this out aggressively. He has to go back into safety because a couple of these flashes from Zik are making it so much more difficult to get onto site. Kix does have a flash of his own, is going to be able to do something to Zik, but again, Zik is just positioning, playing in and out of boathouse, which is what we see players do so many times, and Chihuahua doesn't need a boathouse. He has his own cage. He has his own util. He doesn't need no actual structures to play around. 4-0 on Ascent, and BONK, once again, starting off incredibly strong.
Yeah, looking really solid. Obviously, this is how the game kind of died out for the side of BONK in Icebox after getting those 4 rounds. But this time it seems like they're getting a lot of momentum. Closius Operator could be one to stop that. But he needs to find a pick to start with.
Yeah.
Gets denied instantly.
Yeah. Line of sight cut out immediately by some of these smokes, and that's going to allow them to fall back a little, but it also does save BONK what could be a little scary. Chihuahua does not manage to adjust the crosshair in time, and Zik is the one to win that duel. Does lose a little bit of HP, but that's all well and good. Still has a util available, one away from null command, and BONK wants to deciding to get onto A site, and because of that initial pick with Chihuahua on B, a couple of these members have been fooled that potentially B is the place to be, but no, it's A. A is where you want to be at, and no, Jusu got locked out by his own teammate, does find one, but that's so incredibly unfortunate. And with that door being closed, they're not going to be able to get a hold of that lockdown. BONK, he's playing with fire. Oh, tucked away into wine. Kix is detained. Unfortunately for them, BONK coming out. He's completely unaccounted for. He's gonna find one. Make it that a second. Cider gets one himself, but they're sticking it once again. And the clutch is gonna be coming out. No, you cannot. This has to be fake. There is no way the amount of rounds won by sticking it. No, this is not happening. Again? Are you serious?
Amazing post-plant position for the side of BONK. They can't just close it out. They cannot get closer. How many more times are we gonna see this happen?
I'm shook. I'm shook. Screaming, crying. Honestly, this is incredible to see, but at the same time, it's so sad. Because they were spraying the smoke. But again, Kluja just doesn't care. This is like Cider. Like, Kluja took a page out of Cider's book and said, if you can do it, I can too.
I think something like that was how the Icebox turnaround started. The diffuse coming in.
That is indeed one way, though. That's a one-way from Cider. It's gonna make it a little bit more difficult for them to try and go for this retake, but again, it's really scary to look at because looking at the economy, of course, VAMONOS is not in the best position. Warren finds one, Chihuahua finds another. A couple of picks going back and forth, but Warren with the Spectre is not a force to be reckoned with. Cider as well, not easy to go, and Chihuahua still unaccounted for completely. Nobody checked it, and you expect one player to be in hell, not two.
Yeah. That position is Cypher's playground, even on the defensive side. This is where you multiple times, the Cypher setup, you get 3 kills, 2 kills, shut down the side take completely. But even in post plant, without any utility, you can use it to your advantage, and Chihuahua has played that position so many times. He knows how to isolate those duels, he knows how to get that 4K. Neural Theft available for the next round. VAMONOS having to go for a save once again, stacking that B main.
Ooh.
Sunshine, the only one towards A side.
A little gamble gone wrong for the side of VAMONOS. This is why you don't use your channel points on anything. Save them.
The kicks actually died the first time, I think. Feels bad, man.
They get the A side for free. They're aware of this because VAMONOS has played like this before, where they stuck onto one site and then they play that retake. So this is not new territory for BONK. They give themselves the opportunity to get onto site. They don't use too much util. And now the util is coming out to try and spot where the retake is coming from. But little do they know, it's coming from main. Oh, Cider's spidey senses are tingling.
I think they have a read. I'd say BONK is 90% sure that the stack is gonna be in A main. And that's why they're exiting CD, most of these players.
Ooh, Cider's gonna get one. Kaluja's gonna get two though, Jusu. Eventually he's gonna find another player. It's gonna give them a rifle? Two? But that's all VAMONOS is getting out of this.
Yeah, Yuzu actually... Is he gonna go for a hunt? Only has a stinger and playstore.
Ooh!
That's so close!
Nah. You cannot make this up. This stuff cannot be made up. Like, this is real, okay? No one can write... Like, even if you were the best script writer, you cannot write these scripts. There's no way.
Nah. BONK 6-1 lead on attacking side. Warren having Hunter's Fury online. Should be able to use it on this round. Kaluja once again, that operator on hand, but he's playing the same mid position again that he got denied by previously, and once again, one smoke to take off that line of sight, and Kaluja is out of the picture in this round.
Yep. Monkar has that util. Shock dart available. It's gonna get flash, but instead Sunshine and Zeke, you're flashing each other with both. Still you get one. But that was a little unfortunate. The paranoia and the pop flash coming out. And they're just blinding each other. Ooh, look at get back to safety, but Juzu, you dash back into the molly. That's a little bit of an oopsie. And still he finds it. Sunshine thinks that that's it. It's the end of the ordeal, but no. Kaluja is a dog with a bone, and he's gonna hunt you down until the end of this earth. With the trades coming in, it's now Kaluja and Neely who have to close this out. And Cider is all by himself. Clock is ticking, but he doesn't have much time. They're not aware of his position. He finds the first, gets the second.
What?
Nah. Cider is unfazed.
Neely was so sure that Cider is still in heaven.
Yeah.
It's just aiming there. I mean, look at the preparation coming from Cider for the second kill. He's not even adjusting the aim to the player. Just, okay, you're probably gonna stick the, or unstick the spike and come for the peak. So I'll just have my crosshair here. Easy. BONK. BONK. I mean, what else can you say at this point?
I mean, 7-1. Ascent is definitely a map that they're comfortable in, I guess. That's what we can say, but I don't want to sing their praises too early on because we have seen some questionable decision making once they are in the lead. So now, what I want to look at is how long can they keep up this consistency? Can they keep it up when they are on the defense? Because now they're on the attack and they're doing great. Very easy. Forward. Okay. And there we go. Individual peaks. One by one. I was mid-sentence gonna say, can they keep up this consistency or are they gonna start playing sloppy? And there we go. My answer, my question has been answered. It was a question, it was not a statement.
It's a jinx. After all, 40 HP, 38 to be precise, on the side of Warren. I really like his decision making right here. Cider just tucked in a corner. Ooh. Not the best position to be in, but he has no clue where Warren's coming, and you do not want to take the ability in hand, even though it's a smoke.
Warren's just gonna spot him out immediately. Yeah, there we go. He's not even looking.
Well played.
Cider is so sure that he was gonna come. And the same thing what Cider pulled off last round, where they were so sure that Cider was gonna be coming out of heaven. And this time around, Cider was convinced that Warren's gonna come out of heaven, but that's not the case.
Yeah, and just as you were saying, BONK gets ahead. Questionable decision making comes in. That is exactly what happens. VALORANT gets challenged 1 by 1. And this time he's not missing with the Sheriff.
Turret out.
And you know what? Previous match, previous Ascent, we didn't see that 3-9 curse. This could be one. Surely.
Here we go. Castro said it, so therefore it's not gonna happen.
Here.
I think Lucia, he has to switch up where he plays.
Yeah.
You cannot play every round operator in mid when you get denied by the one smoke.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because you get denied by the smoke, you give up this position, and BONK, they're happy to take it. You give Jisoo so much space to play with, eventually you do manage to take him out, but he has already opened up everything for the team. Kluja, though, coming in hot, but Cider even hotter on his heels. And Sunshine needs to clear quite a bit, but there's still a molly available for kicks. You're not gonna get into that side for free. Gonna have to pay with it with your HP.
Yeah, and even for Mason coming in from the both of these players. Look at Bunker. 3 kills.
Oh.
Not so free, I guess.
You wanna say it again?
I mean, Bunker was just a nice guy, giving that 4K to Cider, right?
True. He was like, Cider was like, yo, that's my 4K, can I have it? And he agreed completely.
Yeah.
I would do that too. I would leave that for you as well.
A good guy. You know, Bunker is actually doing well on assists, so he was like, let me tag these guys at least first. Couple times. So 10 assists on the board. Nice. BONK in the lead. 8-2. Crazy amount of ultimates coming from the side of VAMONOS, and actually in the whole game, 7 in total. Cruise's Blade Storm is the most likely ultimate that is gonna be spent in this round.
Question mark?
And Null Command could come online as well, deny that Blade Storm, but Closer is already so deep!
Yep. Neural Theft is going to give away even more information, so they're happy to commit onto that B side as quickly and as fast as possible. Zeke is going to get tagged out immediately. Kluja finds one with the knives, finds a second. He's making this Blade Storm work for him. But still Sunshine and Kluja. They have done this before, they could potentially do it again, but you get them onto B side again. Boathouse tucked away, holding angles, sound cues from where you're positioning. Oh, this is an impossible feat. Wings get clipped immediately. Sunshine picks up a rifle, but what can he do?
There's nothing that Cider could do. The win out this round. Yeah, you can do a lot of damage to the economy, but at this point, it doesn't even matter. BONK there comfortably buying that last round.
Yep, 9-2.
They could even spare for 3 extra teams with that money. Honestly.
Wow. Do you think they would like to have a team of casters as like their backup? Would they buy for us?
Sure.
Yeah, why are you saying sure as if you're making the decision? Like you're not even on it. You're not on a team, bestie.
I made that executive decision already. I'm sorry, BONK. There's no chance. You cannot back off from that situation, or it's already done. Kicks. Malcolm probably gonna be interested instantly, actually. So.
Oh, Hunter's Fury. It's gonna force Jisoo in a very awkward scenario. And that is already one player out. Knives no longer available. That Blade Storm taken out. At BONK, they want to get into these double jitters, right? Because I think that's when you kind of like feel more of that safety. 9-3. I don't want to say it, but the curse. Everybody thinks it exists. I'm not a strong believer, but I am a strong believer in Chihuahua. He's playing again in his own cage, his own terrain, but this time around Zeke is expecting it. He gets flashed out. Zeke has not seen anything. Chihuahua goes back into the cage, but eventually the utility drops and Kicks is the one to be able to pick that off. But the series of events, Kicks stuck between walking into someone's crosshair or dying to a molly, and instead decides to die to the molly. Nilly and Kluja, again, lockdown this time around available. Spike not in VAMONOS' lap.
Yes, they're going for the orb.
That allows them to TP on the side. That creates so much confusion because now you know Omen has used the util. You know he's used his ult. But you don't know where he is, and Nilly is completely unaware.
Cider is already on lane. Oh, perfect timing for Clusa.
It's a one-on-one. Kluja on Bonkar. Bonkar has the safety of being on the site. He has a rough idea as to where he can expect Kluja to be, but Kluja is still the one to come out on top in this one-on-one. And has more than enough time to go for that defuse.
Scripted game. You called it.
No,
me.
I didn't. I say there's no way you can write the script no matter how good you are at writing scripts.
It's just... It seems like a perfect situation for BONK. Cider gets a kill, gets back to lane. Maybe should regroup on the side, but deciding to just force for that lane, then it's like, okay, I'll just back off. And Kalusa finding the perfect timing. Perfect score as well. 11-11-1. That
Beautiful.
was amazing.
You cannot come up with this stuff. There's no, I've never seen that before. What are the odds of that happening?
Yeah, whichever it was who called that, if it was Chihuahua or Kicks who called for that flash, props to him. Insane. Just so well played. It doesn't quite get the kill, but still amazing. Content.
Good content.
Amazing utility usage. Just down
Amazing
to a T.
content. That's a TikTok clip.
Always these TikTok clips.
Do you know what TikTok is?
No.
That's okay. It's like an app, right? And like when you watch it, you get happy and sad at the same time.
Sounds reasonable. At least once in a year I get happy. It doesn't matter. Zeke, Warren, they are happy as well with those kills. Only one trade coming back, but that's Bonker getting a second one on the board, evening out the odds.
Yeah, and that's again the pistol round from BONK. Like I feel like every single time we've seen the pistol round come out from BONK, they are very good at it. They know what needs to be done, and that's how they get themselves into a lead. Pop flash from Kicks. It's gonna allow them to push out aggressively. They gotta be able to pick off one. They know another player is tucked away in hell, but they still need to account for the one onto A main, and that's exactly accounted for again. Is this gonna be won by sticking it? Because I cannot deal with, my heart cannot deal with that again.
Kicks, just please stop it. That KO flash is detrimental for the retake again. Okay, it's kind of basic KO flash, but still you do not expect that lineup coming from. I don't think you even necessarily hear that bounce coming through when you're at green box, but the flash is perfect. And Sunshine is just gone, and actually has been gone for the whole game. 1-12. Not a good game for him. I think it's a struggle to see. It's a struggle to see because I know what Sunshine can do. I think he was showing a lot of cute stuff on the previous season already.
Yeah.
But doesn't quite get there in this map.
And I think the whole of VAMONOS is kind of struggling with that as well because, again, so far they have excelled when every single one of their players has stepped up to the plate. So now it's very much a team that is reliant on everybody performing rather than only one individual. So having at the moment one individual maybe not doing as great as we might expect them to be is hurting them to a certain extent. Which again, it's a team game.
Yeah.
So that's to be expected.
Exactly. Like, you cannot have a great game every game unless you're not like Chihuahua on the Cypher. But if you're not that, you cannot have a great game every game. BONK, they are going for the full-on retake. VAMONOS obviously forcing out in this round, having good, decent weaponry to defend this retake. But can they do it?
Yeah, also they're all coming from the same angle, so Chihuahua gets flashed immediately. Bonkar and Juicy do manage to get a pick, but Nile and Vorwan are instantly hitting back. Bonkar still on the hunt as he manages to shut Zeke down. Sunshine and Vorwan though, please do not, again, stick, okay? Kicks finds one, and now it's on a one-on-one, and Kicks again comes out on top. An expensive round, though, nonetheless, but 11-3. BONK getting this lead, sitting comfortably, but I want to hold my horses because we know what happens when they get a big lead.
Yeah, I mean, do we want to go there? Last season, when this duo Bunker Kicks. They were on a team called Finest.
Oh no,
There
what
was
happened to Finest?
Some unfortunate events coming down in Bind when they had
Oh,
similar
no.
lead. I think it was
Yes.
11-1 or 11-2. They still
Oh.
lost that map. But this
I
time
blame the
around,
judge.
I think they look so much better.
I blame the judge in hookah.
Absolutely.
I think judge in hookah 9 rounds in a row is maybe not the play.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
But this
Kind
time,
of predictable.
yeah, it feels like, however, the predictability that we were expecting initially from BONK, considering what we've seen last year, is not there. There is no predictability. And VAMONOS have struggled with reading them. The first game onto Icebox is very much back and forth. But once they got onto their own territory, once they got onto Haven, now onto Ascend, it feels like VAMONOS are struggling to get that predictability out of BONK. So that's definitely an improvement based off what we know.
Absolutely. And great timeout from BONK. They just want to secure it. They are most likely thinking about VAMONOS' economy as well and whether VAMONOS is going to buy for this round. And yes, they are. One Vandal without any shields, couple Guardians. Scrappy buy.
Risk
We
it for
have
the biscuit.
seen these work out. And absolutely, when you're at this situation, you have to risk it.
What's your favorite biscuit?
Probably something from Subway.
A biscuit.
Ain't that the same thing? Cookie? Biscuit?
Yeah, but you're getting cookies from Subway?
Of course.
Okay, my bad, bro. Sorry for
I
asking.
mean, chocolate chip? Something like
Yeah,
that.
there you go. That sounds good. Chocolate
That's-
chip.
that's
I
from
vibe with
Subway.
that. Okay.
No one else makes them.
Ah. Okay.
Okay. What about you?
Next topic. I like chocolate
Okay.
chip. Basic.
Also, base it. Closer?
Please, I want a new caster. I want a new duo. Get me out.
You have no choice in here. Bunker with the RS. He had a choice. He picked out this weapon. It's kind of disgusting. But it will work. It usually does.
Does it work today, though? Again, Chihuahua not really accounted for as of yet. They're gonna throw out the fragment. They're looking to displace him a little, and as of yet, they're not successful. Instead, it's him and the rest of his team who are absolutely killing it onto site. Every member that tries to knock on their door gets turned away immediately, 12-3. And with the scrappy buy that we've just seen from VAMONOS, losing this hard can only mean one thing, MP.
I have no clue what you're talking about. BONK.
Wow.
I mean, it seems like VAMONOS is already knocking on the heaven's door. It's not gonna be easy to come back. Is it even possible? In the right circumstances, maybe. But with the confidence being on the side of BONK, they being so heavily favored. Kicks is so online with Cider on the side of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, you don't? You don't think there's a... I think VAMONOS has showed us a lot today. I think we cannot take
Yeah.
that away from them. And
Oh,
there's
absolutely.
always going to be a chance. Because we've seen this. We've seen 12-3. Until it says who won, I am not saying anything. Okay? VAMONOS starting off strong. Getting that advantage in terms of the numbers. And BONK already down a few. And this is, remind you, an eco round. But Kicks and Cider are still alive. Make that Kicks all by himself. It's a 1v2. If anybody can do it, it is going to be Kicks, because this player, honestly, impressive, to say the least. It's got to be able to detect that it's a push.
Yeah. But, wait for it. Kicks. He has to kick some ass here. Okay, that was
No,
one of the worst ever.
that was terrible. Fire.
And I'm gonna read the highlight. Kicks. Does he know where the players are? Fragment could clear that position. It takes, or it gives damage to Hell as well.
Yeah, he's potentially, is now aware
Oh!
of some of that. He's gonna get the first. Oh, he's not gonna be able to get the second.
So close.
So close. But 12-4. This could be the beginning of the end.
It could be. VAMONOS. Getting one round on the board. Already. Decent. better than nothing. You have 4 ultimates coming up. I think BONK, they don't have money. They have to go for a save. Oh, a little bit further. Just a little bit further. A kick spins that. VAMONOS. Once again, going for that mid control. I think they have found decent amount of success in mid.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they should abuse. As long as they can. But when Juzo gets that operator, it's gonna be tough if he can place himself right.
I think that mid push as well is something that I've highlighted. I wanted to see more of it. I feel like we haven't really seen these teams contest mid as heavily as I might have expected them to. So this could potentially be something to look into, as we saw every single round from the side of Kluja. He would take the operator mid on the defensive side of things. That just did not work out. You get one smoke from Cider. You have no line of sight. You cannot contest it. But now, this is uncontested. No one is trying to stop them. So this could give them an entry into site.
Yeah, they do not have the firepower to stop them either. A couple Stingers just want to play that close range. Good pressure made, but no never mind. Big reaction. Nille.
Yeah.
2 bullets wasted.
There we go.
You can't really say wasted. 2 bullets used in a really good way. And that's a free side for side of VAMONOS. Do they read this one position? And they do. Chihuahua's just quick with it.
Yeah, Chihuahua and
No way.
the Sheriff coming out on top. He has the cage. He still has a couple members that are trying to make it work onto side Jisu though. He's not gonna be able to do just that. He gets tagged out. They're not accounting for Nille, who has done so much this round. That's already 3 players. What did I say? I want to hold my horses until it says exactly on my screen who won.
Good point. But 5 ultimates on the side of BONK. Almost the same for VAMONOS. I'm already sorry for the observers for the upcoming round. Yusufa has the operator. This could be it. I hope he gets a better position that Kluja had for all of the rounds that he had operator. I think it was 3 rounds. 3 rounds denied by 1 Omen smoke. In the same position.
This is do or die. It could be the round that BONK secured a series simply because of the fact of how many ultimates they have available. Jisu has spotted out 1 player on mid but decided not to capitalize off it. They doesn't want to play out too aggressively. And I respect that because any small mistake could be the beginning of the end. Because we've seen BONK, we've seen how quickly they can get a lot of the lead, but we've also seen how quickly they can lose it. No command, lockdown. Everything's being invested here. Sunshine gets ripped to shreds. And the Killjoy with the flash from Kluja as well going off of that. And again, BONK, they're just kind of falling apart. Although 2 players left. The wallbang kicks though. He's coming in hot. He's there to save the day. Jisu finishing it off with that defuse. Okay. They didn't even need the Blade Storm. They didn't even need Neural Theft from Chihuahua. BONK has officially secured the 3rd map, and therefore they win.
First game for BONK. First win for them in this season. I think there's gonna be many more to come. I want to highlight that last round. You had a great setup on the side of BONK. Chihuahua, where was he? He was on A side, while his setup was actually on B side, trying to dodge that KO, null command, that ultimate. And it was actually working wonders because few of the players got stuck into that trip. If the Cypher was on B side, there's no way those trips are active. And just insanely good foresight. I think that's a really default stuff nowadays, but still I'm always glad to see that happen and actually work out.
Yeah, and I also think when we're looking at the performances here from BONK, initially rocky on Icebox, and slowly as we're heading towards these games, the end of the 3rd map, it feels like they're getting it back together a little better. They're playing better off of each other's util. They're getting better at trading. We've seen individual performances come out as well. they know how to execute the set plays that they have in place rather than just kind of like lose it when it comes to getting that lead, because time and time again we see them get a lead and get a little bit cocky, and it feels like this one so far has been their cleanest performance in terms of how many rounds they lost in total.
Yeah. Crazy map for BONK. I felt the confidence back home as well. Kicks. I'm glad to see Kicks on fire.
Absolutely. No, Kicks today, MVP once again, 3.7 KDA. Like, where did this guy come from? Honestly, I mean, I knew he was on Polaris last year, but he has absolutely just blown up over the last couple of 6 months. The improvement has been astronomical, to say the least, and not to take away from Cider or from BONK or from Chihuahua or from Jusu, but it feels like Kicks really took the spotlight, and so did Nille. And this is actually the two players that we highlighted once again being shown up as MVP.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's no surprise, at least not for me. These guys were already like staples in Polaris. Like previous few seasons, they were already showing good signs. They have had like half a year, maybe even more, to improve and just work on those skills, get a team around them that works really well with them. Yeah. And it shows that it's so good. The scouting, even the team building from the side of BONK, I love how they have played it around these players. You obviously have great individual talent, but then you have Kicks, who is able to make those amazing flashes for his teammates, and not only to Yuseo, not only to the duelist, but Chihuahua as a Cypher. Yeah. And that was a sight to see.
Yep, absolutely. And I think today, as you've probably, if you've tuned in since the beginning, which was a couple of hours ago, Focus Day won that first game against HS Deer, however you want to say it. And then we have BONK here walking away with the win against VAMONOS, which means that our predictions are safe. I'm sorry, Kremer, for your loss. You've lost 1 point. The rest of us talent are sitting comfortably with 2 points ahead, so I'm happy about that. A little lead built up. But I think, if anything, a lot of question marks that we had coming into today, MP, especially in terms of which player is going to play what agent, what role is going to suit them the most, especially because a lot of these teams have a mixed bag of experience. They have a lot of players who are happy to play multiple roles, so it is a matter of who feels most comfortable where. So happy to see that we got a couple of answers, happy to see that we have a couple of answers in terms of performances as well, and now it's just a matter of heading in tomorrow. Yeah, that's my cat.
But yeah, it's amazing to see a lot of these Sentinels coming through and them shining, like we saw multiple times, and the Cypher coming from Chihuahua. And I think tomorrow is going to be real interesting. But I think we have an interview coming up.
We do have an interview coming up, and that is going to be with Jusu. So hello. Congratulations on your first win here at Polaris. How are you feeling?
Really good. It was a really well fought series, and we came back on top, so always feels good to get the first win.
Sounds good. How do you feel playing around Bunker and all of these experienced people? Obviously you have experience of yourself, but do you feel like Bunker and Cider and these people that you're playing again or playing with, do they improve yourself? And if they do, how so?
Yeah, I mean, they're great. They teach us, I'm saying us because Kicks is also very young. They teach us a lot about discipline, just in general, how to like see the game and be smart and win as a team. So it really helps us. Like, as you could see today, we won like as a team more than individuals, even though we all popped off. So it was a great showing to see. And yeah, like Bonkar's experience definitely helps a lot in this team.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously we have a lot of rivalries against other Challengers leagues. You played previously in the French league, now played only one game. Do you feel it's somehow different? Or do you feel like there's going to be better opponents against you? Or how do you feel about Polaris?
I mean, I definitely think we have like the most stacked league in Europe, outside of VCT, obviously. So it's very fun. Sadly, we don't have a lot of organizations. But outside of that, the teams are amazing, and we have a lot of talent and great players already. So it's really exciting to play in this league. So it's very good, honestly.
Okay, I want to go back to the first map that you guys played, and that's going to be Icebox. It felt like you guys had a little bit of a footing, then you lost it, then you got it back again, and then unfortunately you end up losing the game. What happened on Icebox, and how did you come back mentally? Because Haven and Ascent, you guys were a completely different team.
I mean, honestly, the first map I guess it's first official in a while for us, so I guess we were a bit nervous and we were kind of like not really listening to each other and kind of not playing our game we usually do, which made us lose the lead, honestly. And then coming back on Haven, I mean, BONK just told us, like, just to listen to him and listen to the plan and everything will go fine. And that's what we all did. We just locked in and listened to each other. And, we have a pretty good mood, so we don't really care about losing. Like, we know what we are and we know what we can do, so we just trust the process. And we were just focused on second map. We started a bit slow, but we took it back, and since then we didn't lose it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that first map curse is carried over from Tundra onto BONK once again. But thank you so much for the interview. You guys did an incredible performance. Have a good evening, and looking forward to your next match.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. A good night.
Thank you. Good night. Well, there you go. Experience has helped.